Hello humans, and welcome to the Chapter 1 test review. We're going to be going through everything pretty succinctly here, very fast. This is not a comprehensive review, but essentially just to get you the basics and the answers so you're prepared for the exam. The exam is all multiple choice with one map, and most of the choices contain 2 to 3 answers. A few contain 4, but if you use common sense, read, and put your thinking cap on, you should be fine. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have a pen to jot this stuff down because we are going to be going very, very fast. Pause it if you need to. And here we go. Okay, here's Critical Thinking 1. Go ahead and jot that down. And make sure you answer that somewhere on your packet. You should have a space available, except if it's a year where I forgot to put that space. So think about that question. There you go. I'm not sure. Oh, I put 3 there because I wanted you to list 3 things. Okay, archaeologists look at bones and artifacts. Bones tell you what something looked like, early humans. And artifacts are human-made objects. You don't need to know that for the test, though. And fossils are examined by paleontologists. Fossils are very old, created through high amounts of heat, compaction, quick burial, things like that. Okay, moving on. Culture, common practices, and shared understandings. This is how similar people early on dressed similarly and had similar systems of belief. I just like saying the word similar. Okay, so in this chapter we talk about evolutionary theory. And I will say just at the start, this is a theory. And the views expressed in this video are not necessarily those that are held and promoted by the content creator. And think critically always about all scientific theories. Okay. But yeah, this theory is basically divided into 2 different sections, macro versus microevolution. Microevolution is basically why you have like tall humans, some tall, different types of hair and whatnot, but humans are humans. Macro is the theory that some scientists hold to that some humans evolved from apes. Now, why is it still a theory, people always ask? There are a variety of reasons for that. Number 1, there is missing transitional fossils. Lack of explanatory power, meaning like based on the fossils, they can't quite figure out timelines, like how it could have happened so quickly. And also explanatory mechanisms, like how could genetic mutations have actually caused things to upward evolve. So that's some of the issues with it. If you ever get into studying this stuff, you do have to be aware of those things. And yeah, but according to this theory, essentially there was these things called hominids walking around millions of years ago in Tanzania. East Africa, there was a woman named Mary Leakey who discovered these giant footprints. Now, how does she know what they were? Well, she's taking her best guess. She wasn't there. She's old. I mean, she was old at the time, but not that old. And also carbon dating, it is kind of sketchy after you get past hundreds of years, so that's another thing to consider. Okay. But Australopithecines, like sometimes when they say like these things existed millions of years ago, they're just basically guessing. Carbon dating, it's accurate to a point if you're like measuring the age of a pirate ship that's 200 years old, but you do have to factor this stuff in. Okay, so just again, think critically. Kind of make your own decisions. But according to these anthropologists, Australopithecines are basically extinct apes who could walk on 2 legs. That's what bipedal locomotion is, and supposedly, according to computer modeling, that's what they look like. So these are basically what scientists say they believe humans evolved from their particular opinion. Okay, and then the big problem is the lack of transitional fossils. Lucy is the oldest fossil hominid ever discovered. That's what Lucy looks like right there. You can see the pelvic notch is how they determined that Lucy was female. Not a whole lot going on there, guys. So that's just again, looking at this, they're kind of taking an estimate on how old she might have been. Australopithecus afarensis is what they refer to her as, and they believe that, according to their opinion, she is in the line of humans. Again, think critically about that. Hominids walking upright. So they believe that these apes were able to walk upright around 3 to 4 million years ago, and they're basing that pretty much solely on Lucy and a few other skeletons that they found that they're using carbon dating to determine how old they are. Why is walking upright good? Well, it's good to travel long distances, more suitable to live in open fields, and you can see impending danger. There's number 8. By the way, there's numbers on the screen. Those are corresponding with test questions. Supposedly at this time they developed an opposable thumb. We did a little coin demonstration in class. We're not going to do that. Well, I mean, obviously we're not in class right now. You're watching a video. So so we're not going to do that right now. You can actually pause it here and pick up a coin without your thumb and see how hard it is to do that and kind of get that idea. Okay. All right, Stone Age. Yeah, this is, again, taking their best estimate. They say 2.5 million to 8,000 years ago. That's the old Stone Age. New Stone Age is 8,000 to 3,000 years ago. And again, this can be tricky dating these ages because you do have cataclysmic events and other things like that that do affect the readings of how old things are. So, again, you're going to have to kind of make up your own mind about this, but just understand, like, none of these numbers are completely concrete. So early humans used tools, fire, and language. That basically marks the beginning of what's called the Stone Age. New Stone Age is basically polishing stone tools, crops, raising animals. Crops is the big thing, growing crops. All right. Well, according to theory, in all caps there, we got Homo habilis, number 10. Supposedly, scientists believe that this thing was in the line of humans about 2.5 million years ago. Again, according to theory, Homo habilis, meaning man of skill, was discovered in Tanzania in 1960. So, again, Homo habilis, I would say, according to my view of it, I've kind of like examined this skeletons and stuff with this. I did some work on anthropology in my undergrad. I think it's probably a primate. Yeah. I mean, just if I would guess. They would call this like a pre-human, but I would describe it as a primate. Homo erectus, I would say, is just an early human. They did basically all the same stuff that humans do. Now, according to scientists, I would maybe disagree with this number, of course. But the number that they give, I think, is actually very, very quite old. 1.6 million years ago, according to the theory. But Homo erectus is called upright man because he fully walked upright. And that's why I think he's a modern human. There's some people who dispute that. They would say maybe not quite as developed as modern humans. I think in their knowledge they weren't really fully developed, but they did do a lot of cool stuff, as you can see. And I'm gonna have to get going. Actually, these notes are long, and I'm becoming very long-winded. Okay, Neanderthals. There you go. That's how we know they're smart. Check that stuff out. Look at that time period. Neanderthals are just an early group of humans, just slightly bigger. They're just slightly bigger bone structure and stuff. They're still fully human. They're highly intelligent. Lived in a cold environment, so they probably adapted to that. Cro-Magnons are modern humans. They competed with Neanderthals over food, and they actually intermarried with Neanderthals. So most humans have Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal DNA. Yeah, so here you go. That's pictures of what maybe early humans might have looked like with, fire and stuff. All right, so we answered this scenario question. Make sure you do that too in your packet. And pause it there. And here's a picture of an atlatl on the right, just in case you don't know what the heck that thing is. We watched a video on it. Right. Also, guys, please make sure you check out the Google questions. There was a Google quiz and Google reading questions that are on there, so make sure you do that too. Okay. Critical thinking 2. There's some years we do this one, some years we didn't. If you're watching it this year in 2024, when I'm posting this, we did not do this one. Okay. So I didn't leave you enough space. All right, number 14. People started doing cave paintings, according to, again, scientists in theory, 35,000 years ago. Marking territory, telling stories, religious rites. Early on, people were hunter-gatherers, 15. 7,000 BC, women figured out how to plant seeds and grow crops. That's kind of cool. Society started growing more crops, getting more people. This is known as the Neolithic Revolution or the New Stone Age. Okay, that was, make sure I'm counting correctly. Yes, number 18. Pause there if you need that. Okay, moving on. Number 19 is all 3 of those, okay? I think this one, guys, I'm not going to say you can't miss it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You cannot miss this one. I'm not trying to jinx you, but there's 3 of them that are correct, 1 that's incorrect. All you have to do is circle 3. So you have a 75% chance of getting this one correct. Come on. Come on. You got to get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, slash and burn farming. There it is. We've talked about it when you were in 8th grade, so we don't need to get back into that. All right. Number 20, they started herding animals. If number 20 says, you know, they started attacking animals, that's not how they domesticated them. Okay, wolves, goats, pigs. They started herding sheep, other stuff. This happened in Iraq a long time ago. All right, there you go. First village ever. You know, we agree that Greenville is, you know, a place on earth, best town ever created. But Catalhayuk was the first one. There you go, some facts on that. There's 4 facts, and then there's also going to be 4 facts that are not correct. So there's only 2 choices, A and B. You have to select the one that has like these choices in it. All right, honeycomb houses. They don't look like honeycombs, but the overall shape of them is like a honeycomb pattern. Forked mounds is what it means. Small little village. You know, they were pretty chill, pretty cool people. That's the aspects of civilization. If you want a more technical thing, if you're really into this stuff, there you go. Catalhayuk. Yeah, they worship some kind of bull god. They did bull leaping. You jump over a bull and pray that it doesn't stab you through the solar plexus. Kind of neat. There it is up there. There's the remains. So they used that to reconstruct this and figure out what was going on. They had kitchens, all kind of cool stuff. And again, that's literally everything I just said. Oh, hey, obsidian jewelry. Didn't mention that. They had weavers and other skilled jobs. And then eventually civilization emerges in a place called Ur. Ur is the answer to number 23. There was this little place called Sumer. It was like a really cool little like area near the rivers in modern day Iraq, number 24. It was part of a bigger region called Mesopotamia. So Mesopotamia is the big region. Sumer is the smaller region. Ur is the capital of Sumer. That's fun to say, isn't it? All right, number 24. Oh, I have number 24 on there again. So yeah, Ur comes to prominence around 3000 BC. Artisans, rulers, leaders, priests, and priestesses. Not a whole ton of human sacrifice. They just mostly sacrificed animals to their gods for rain and stuff. Irrigation ditches for number 25. I really got to hurry, guys. I'm running out of time. Tigris and Euphrates rivers were the ones. They used bronze weapons. Number 26, you see it right there. Houses are basically windowless boxes. If you're really rich, you got 2 of them stacked on top of another. There's the main bazaar, the grand bazaar where they would trade, bartering system. This is a big city. I mean, it's really like the first major city ever in existence. It's 50,000 people roughly. It's huge. That's why everybody remembers Ur, and plus it just has a fun name to say. But they used a bartering system where you like figure out how many chickens are worth 3 bottles of wine or how many cows are worth 3 ducks. You know, they just argue and fight until they figure out a deal. Complicated trades might require a scribe. There you go. Number 29, they worship this thing called Ziggurat, meaning the mountain of God. Ooh, spooky. All right, moving on. Number 30, Enlil, they believe was the creator god. He was part of what's called the Anunnaki, these major like gods that they worshipped. And they also created the sail and the wheel. That's kind of neat. There's cuneiform writing. That's what they used to write. We're not going to do the project where you do handwriting this year, which is in 2024, because honestly, it's absolutely horrific to try to write things in that language if you haven't been used to doing it. It's very difficult. Number 32, why did cities come into existence like Ur? Larger harvests. You know, as the economy changed, skilled workers developed. Okay, number 33, they also worshipped multiple gods. They were called polytheistic. Down at the bottom for number 33. Number 33. All right, we already looked at this slide. And finally, guys, you got to know where the Sahara Desert is, the Kalahari, and the Nile River. That's the only 3. Okay, hope this video was beneficial. If you did get some benefit out of this video, please make sure you smash the like button because it does help the channel. And this channel is owned by GHS, so how cool is that? Ladies and gentlemen, hope you all have a wonderful day in historic Greenville, PA, and we'll see you soon. Adios.